Hello, Scorpio, Sun, Moon, Rising sign. It is a month of July 2025 horoscope for you, where we're going to talk about the possibility of you coming into what I call some chunky money, which is unearned income, as well as you may receive some positive news or developments regarding career matters or job and work matters that allow for a refreshing and renewing start in that part of your life. July is a month in which we have the electrical energy of Uranus hitting a part of your sky as well, where it hasn't been for 80 odd years. So there's a lot of intensity around surprises and financial matters that are positive. We're going to break it down for you over the next 25 to 30 minutes in our video today. By the way, welcome here if you're new, because my name is Lori Lothian. This is a Western Tropical Zodiac Astrology channel. When you're listening for your sign today, you can listen for your sun, thinking mostly about matters connected to career, moon around home and home life matters, including where you live or reside. And then the rising sign is essentially all about the character you play in the simulation called life. And therefore, it often is the most circumstantially relevant information around change in our lives. However, this is a general bulk of astrology reading. It's not a personal chart reading. I should say that at the beginning of every video, and it may not all apply to you. It depends on your natal sky in detail, but we're going to do our best to give you a broad brushstroke of the lay of the land in July of 2025. Now, one thing I will say to you is that you do have Lord Jupiter, the lucky guy, Santa Claus, and fairy godfather in your ninth house through till next July. The ninth house is a Dharma house. He's exalted. He's flowing to you in what we call a water trine. And therefore, you are lucky and fortunate, expansive and optimistic, and better health included during the entirety of this next year. And that's not going to change in the month of July, but further on and continue for you. Attention to the matters of feeling good about life, being on purpose, being physically well are part of July's storyline. So enjoy the ride and know that this story continues all the way through until July of next year. One thing about being in the month of June is the first 3 weeks of the month. The sun is also up in Cancer with Jupiter in your ninth house, and also supplying vitality and renewal to you physically and energetically. And if it's your Cancer, Scorpio sun to your career matters, or Scorpio moon to your home life matters. So you feel pretty darn successfully positive and wonderful about life in the first 3 weeks of July. Now, let's go ahead and show you the chart, because I want us to go through this in a visual manner, because a lot of my followers are learning astrology. And also, I like you to see what I'm talking about rather than just have me talk. So that's your signature, Scorpio. This is the ascendant, but you can listen for Scorpio sun or moon as if it's in the first house. And as you're looking at the sky here, you'll notice something interesting. There is a Vestal flame here and a Juno. Juno, commitments in love and business, contractual agreements, vows of commitment. And then, of course, the Vestal flame is what's your sacred duty, what you're calling, what do you need to tend a sacred flame toward. And these energies are with you during the entire month of July. So these are big existential energies, especially the Vestal flame, about what you truly want to tend, what's worthy of your fire tending, so to speak, in your life. So there we are. We're on July 1st. And because the Vestal flame is getting a lot of Jupiter love, it really says tend a sacred flame that allows you to thrive, prosper, and be abundant while being meaningfully on purpose as well. And with Jupiter flowing to the North Node in your fifth house of entrepreneurial and creative energies, it could also be tending a sacred flame to fertility, procreation, romantic love, but creative projects as well. The artistic and creative part of you wants attention, maybe even the part of you that needs more joy, fun, and pleasure in life. And Jupiter is happy to increase that as well for you in July, particularly in the first week or two. Now, let's go back to the chronological. What about Venus? Venus is busy in the sky, moving toward Uranus. She's been in the sign of Taurus since June the 6th, and she leaves on July the 4th. So you've been used to her in your seventh house. Could have been lucky things going on in committed love, positive developments in your long-term committed love story, maybe some positive things happening about or for a committed love partner in your life, maybe more success reaching an audience, marketplace, or clients in a very productive, lucrative, and enjoyable way. or maybe meeting some new women or females that came into your life during this time. If you were single and Venus transits the seventh, well, the North Node is in your fifth, single Scorpios could have fallen for a brand new love story, and it would be quite destined and quite positive. And this will be mostly in the second half of June. So you're coming into July with this maybe fresh new love that's starting to emerge, or a fortification of your existing love story. However, as Venus gets ready to hit shock and awe Uranus, well, the North Node's in the fifth house, surprise, we're pregnant. Some of you may come through a window of time where surprise, we're pregnant, or surprise, I'm going to be a grandparent. Jupiter in the ninth house increases the chances of you becoming a grandparent, or increases the fertility in your life as well. So some of you are going to be a little shocked or surprised, perhaps, about the possibility of grandchildren or children coming your way as a result of the sky, July 1st to July the 4th. Now, if you're an artist or a creative and you put like songs, music, things into the ethers, your set art, writing project, you're putting stuff out creatively, which is the fifth house. Then with the conjunction to Uranus, or maybe a breakthrough moment in terms of a legal contract around your creativity or a viral hit in the internet space, something like that could hit some of you Scorpios, and it's going to feel really good. You're going to really enjoy the ride, especially because Jupiter is flowing in a beautiful way to that North Node in your fifth house. So destined positive success, and even the word international also favors book publishing as well. And you get a vibe of some of that coming up in the first 3 days of July. Now, on this ingress of Venus into the next sign, which is really around July the 4th, the first thing she does is create a mini triangle that's very full of goodness and grace and positivity. And this mini grace triangle is going to open up opportunities and luck when it comes to work. For a lot of you, it's work related. Saturn in the sixth house, Venus in the eighth, a sign-on bonus, severance package, commissions, royalty check money, etc. But remember how I said you could come into chunky money? Well, Pluto is in the legacy wealth house trining her, and Saturn is in the debts and indebtedness, literal and karmic. Well, there could be a massive breakthrough energy coming your way because Uranus will join her here on around the 7th of July. And therefore, it can look like an unexpected chunk of money that you don't earn, unearned income, not from your job, coming your way in that first week of July, particularly July 4th to the 8th. Now, Venus here is a benefic, so she's going to bring you, and she's a money goddess in a chunky money house. Unfortunately, the darker side of this, or I have to call a spade, guys. Pluto is in the house of legacy wealth, and that could be inheritance money coming through an elder, Saturn in the house of illness. And so an elder passing in your family system, bringing you some abundance, and the Sun Jupiter in the house of father figures indicates maybe an inheritance from an aging and elderly father figure in your life, or just a dispensation of money. Mom or dad want to hand you a bunch of money, and you're going to say, fine, I'll take it. And I would also add that if you're an occultist, you do the tarot, astrology, hermetic wisdom, talk to dead people, channel angels, any weird stuff like that. Eighth house is the deep mysteries and the occult arts. Something there could also be very blossoming out for you, but it would connect you to livelihood and work-related matters, especially with Mercury in the top of your sky, trining Saturn at the same time. So for those of you in occult arts, there's a nice glow of positive developments, surprising, breaking free and through in those areas of livelihood. On a practical note, this also is a Venus in a broad sextile to Mercury, which can indicate about July 4th to the 8th, a surprising job interview, contract, opportunity. It's something that's kind of a dream job for you. It allows stable, lasting results in a visionary, dreamy way, helping heal a chironic wound around work. And if you don't change your work, per se, like a new job, an interview, a callback, a contract, then you could have a new development in the current livelihood or work path that is extremely surprising, but very positive. And you're going to probably say yes. Let me just say one more thing about Mercury in your 10th house now that I'm there. I'm going to jump ahead. It's a really interesting 2-month stay because of retrogradation. And I mentioned this in the intro, that it could be some changes in the work because from June the 26th to September 2nd, Mercury transits Leo. He retrogrades around July 17th. This long duration happened last summer, but it also happened in 2017-18 in the same time of year, July, August. So there's a lot of Mercury conversation about career. And for those of you who are, like, say, in mercurial fields like marketing and sales or writing and communicating, you're really focused a lot on going back and forth over old ground to reconsider or go back and do old projects again or whatever. We'll do a video on that. But also Mercury appears negotiator. And because he's trining Saturn, this is a rare event, right? Saturn hasn't been here for 30 years. You could be negotiating new terms in the current work or getting negotiations and contracts for new work during the month of July and in the month of August. So keep your eye on that ball. And you may go back to 2017 and 18 in the same time of year, summer, and see that you might have done some job and career energies that had a lot of negotiation or contractual agreements, but not with Lord Saturn helping out. And that makes it more sturdy. There can be changes in career that occur in July and August, and may have already occurred last July and August. We had the same energy that can last many years after this, a real pivot in your career direction. Now, the next thing to be aware of is that, and by the way, Venus moving into Gemini in your 8th house means that she's going to be there to the end of July. So there's a lot of that, until July 4th to July 30th, chunky money, windfalls, that kind of thing. I even see lawyers and contracts around that. Some of you could sell a property and get a bunch of money off of it. Some of you could renegotiate a mortgage or a financial situation. Some of you could receive an investment in the stock market that pays off. Some of you may can get an inheritance, a massive tax rebate, a huge insurance payout, a huge Google ad revenue check, a huge royalty check. All of those things are possible all through the month of July, after the 4th to the 30th of July. So there's your chunky money story in a nutshell, Scorpio. As we move forward into the next narrative, we'll notice that Venus, we covered that. We'll notice that there is a lunation that occurs on July the 10th. This is a full Capricorn moon. Now, a full moon in Capricorn will activate for you a 3rd house of travel, short distances usually, or to places you've been before, not too exotic. So travel opportunities, fulfillment of travel opportunities, writing projects, connections with siblings, especially the one younger, a fulfillment regarding your online social media land, where the 3rd house now occupies that space, or your daily routines and habits. And Saturn ruled Capricorn says to find something that you can rinse and repeat, like, I'm going to walk every day for 10 miles, whatever it is, because it's what you do in the daily and where you go on the daily. Now, the new moon was planted here December 30th of 2024. So you might have made some kind of seed planting around trips, travel. With Jupiter in your 9th house, you can now activate international, foreign visas, passports, travel opportunities to fulfill the seed you planted December 30th, so that now you can go on and travel and take those journeys. And just because Jupiter's in the pilgrimagey 9th house, there may be off to the Temple of Apollo or off to the Camino. There could be that yearning to travel abroad. Quite possibly as well, this could have invited education, skills-based learning, and Jupiter is in the learning house as well. So if you had a seed planting in December 30th, add, on 6 months, now we have the fulfillment. You got accepted at your favorite university, college, or school. You got your favorite teacher said, yes, come aboard, study with me. So there's travel and learning activation really seeded off the moon that happens here on July 10th and unfolds over 2 to 3 weeks and up to 6 months later. So if you're not learning, you're traveling. If you're not writing and publishing, then you might be hanging out with siblings. You might have some fulfillment around neighbors and neighborhood, including a change of neighbor and neighborhood for you guys, just because Saturn Pluto can also indicate rental opportunities to rent your home out or to rent a new home. So we can also say possibly December 30th, you seeded the possibility of new home, maybe rental home, maybe buy and selling, I don't know, but now fulfilling that would change your neighborhood too. You would move neighborhoods if you're moving at all. In the 6 months that follows the July 10th full moon in Capricorn. It's at 18 degrees. So, hey, Scorpio, sun, moon, and rising, I'd say between 15 and 21 degrees of Scorpio. you kind of feel it more intensely than everybody else, but every Scorpio will feel this nonetheless. And it does activate Juno, the goddess of contractual agreements as well. So again, what contractual agreements or vows are you making regarding neighbors, neighborhood rental properties, leases, things to do with travel agreements or learning engagements? Okay, learning opportunities, signing on a dotted line to enroll or something like that. Now, if you're a teacher, it allows for teaching opportunities as well. Now, July the 11th or 12th, Saturn sextiles Pluto and does so for the whole month of July afterward into August. Now, they're not exactly perfectly in a sextile. That happens next year. So it's a foretaste, foreshadow of an energy that's going to play out most acutely in 2026. For you, Saturn in a work and livelihood health house, that's your sixth house. Sextiling Pluto means a work from home, wealth from parental and lineage, applying to debt relief for you, working hard in your job to achieve a vision or goal or dream. This is July, August, this time around, where you can create greater wealth in and from your home. This could bring you a pet. Of course, pets belong to the sixth house. Saturn could be a traditional pet, whatever that means. Everyone wants a black lab these days, but a traditional pet, a dream pet, a soulmate pet, a pet coming into your life from a reincarnation of a passed away pet, coming back as a new dog, or new cat, that kind of vibe, new goldfish. So there's a pet story for July as well, and into August, it could emerge here as well. But like a deeper layer of this is to do with if it's your health, you're transforming your health for sure from like a deep, profound regeneration and renewal of better health routines, because Saturn will help you do that. If you want to get healthy, Saturn is going to give you structure and discipline in and from the home. And July and August can be good for those close to home workout programs, or even in the neighborhood, perhaps ruling the third house, hitting the gym, hitting the dojo, that kind of thing. Now, on July the 21st, the cosmic lovers, or I'm going to say the 17th of July to really feel it coming in hot, the cosmic lovers get into an argument of some sort. This is going to be Venus in your chunky money house having a really gnarly conversation with Mars. You'll start to feel it on, you'll start to feel it on the 17th of July. And it kind of hits an apex energy around the 21st to the 24th, and then it begins to wane. So let's go the 17th to the 25th. There's some kind of desire that is met by resistance or hard choices, but also the need to let go, because South Node and Mars will be coming together here in the sky, as you can see, around July 16th, 17th, 18th, 19th. And it comes into this exactitude here on the 20th. And so where is there something to release, surrender, and let go in the following areas that Venus is trying to help you do? And it may involve finances as well. Letting go of a way of earning money from your career, letting go of a social group or friendship circle or a particular friend because of financial hardship or disagreements around money, letting go of a long-held dream or goal or vision for your life, letting it surrender it and release it. It doesn't work for you anymore. Some of you, this is a firing story or quitting your job as well. So that wouldn't surprise me with Mercury doing so much in your 10th house. And the retrograde could bring you over the course of July and August, job opportunities from your past. But quitting a job, ending a job would look like severance packages as well. Or, how much money can I get if I leave, as Venus is trying to help you there. If you come into some money through a windfall of some kind, which Venus could bring on, and Jupiter is in the gains of the 8th house. So again, inheritances, windfalls, etc. Then it's just, I'm going to quit my job. I've got enough money to take some time off. That's all that looks like. Or taking time off because you just want to internationally travel. That's another option. But whatever this is, it could give you a timeout corner by choice. See, Mars is like, I will decide or choose to take this action to let go and release this source of income from my career. It doesn't help that Saturn in your sixth house, he's like the Grim Reaper. So some of you, if you're really not working, it's not working for you to be in that job or career path. Some of you are looking like cutting away, and it's always gritty. It's always gritty, but it's a part of a destiny. Venus is bending the nodes of fate, and she's bending it on your behalf. I mean, I think is that the North Node she's bending. She wants you to move into greater enjoyment, creativity, maybe entrepreneurial spirit, more fun, more pleasure in the work you're doing or in the money you're making. And there's a change of the tides here. And this is going to be a story mid-July, one way or the other. If you don't leave your job could leave you, or you may be just getting to the point where you realize you want to change your path. This has been great, but I'm deciding to go in a different direction. And you're making an internal shift of awareness. Watch for conflict with a sibling one older, or a fracture with a friend or ally or benefactor over money matters as well. That's another thing that could happen July 17th to the 25th. Apex energy peaking out around July the 20th. Next thing to contact, the next thing to look at in the contact of planets in your sky, okay? I want to just say backdrop story, right? June 17th, Mars entered your 11th house, and August 6th, he leaves it. During June 17th to August 6th, the temptation to quit a job, or the job quits you, or the earnings quits you, or you have a falling out with a friend or a sibling one older, all of that. That's playing out June 17th to August 6th. But where there's the most critical tension is a square to Venus. Venus is a benefic. She'll still bring you something good. And looks like she's working with Mercury as well, who's telling her, let's bring good job opportunities. So that's what I'm seeing in that story. On July 22nd, the sun slides into Leo. Now, the sun is brightly shining in the 10th house of career, reputation, and social standing. Well, it trines Saturn in the house of work. If you want to see a positive outcome in accomplishing success in your career, finding a new job, rising to greater levels of power, negotiating new levels of authority in your work and career, having the boss favor you as well, especially bosses from the past with Mercury retrograde, then this is all going to be available from July 22nd until the third week of August. So this is when you really get that momentum of solar light in your 10th house. And it could also lead to more recognition and more, success as a general principle. Now, the sun moving into here not only focuses on a Saturnian long game strategy with your work and maybe a sense of a vision of what you really want in that work, but also connects to Uranus in the 8th house of chunky money, sign-on bonus, severance packages, sure, but also, the way you negotiate for surprising break-free and breakthrough energy that may be very karmic. The most karmic house is the 8th house. Lord of that house is Mercury. He is retrograde in the 10th, something like financial breakthroughs coming through and karmic breakthroughs coming through, career changes connected to the past. Father figures are the 10th house. Sun is a father figure. Sun is sextiling, the whole Venus story over the third week of July to third week of August. So money from a father figure, or more success in your career financially, not necessarily on earned income, like benefits, sign-on bonuses, performance reviews, those kinds of things. Because the sun also opposes Pluto, domestic tension over your work and your home life, a push-pull energy, all right? But Pluto is generational, family of origin, legacy, wealth, sun. So again, some of you, when this mini trine hits Saturn, can remove yourself from financial debt through money from a family member, likely elder father energy or elder grandparent, male, but something like that, elderly uncle or something like that. And there is a moon coming up at 2 degrees of Leo in your career house on the 24th of July. It engages all of the stories I've just discussed about, legacy wealth, work, removing yourself from debts or indebtedness, karmic and otherwise. And the energy here is like new beginnings, fresh starts, 2 degrees of Leo. But with retrograde Mercury here, it's things from your past coming back for re-investigation connected to work, career, reputation. You're retired. What are you doing in the world that people see you doing visibly in the high noon? So things that look for emails, phone calls, and text messages spinning off the new moon on July 24th, particularly in the 2 or 3 weeks that follow, from people that you've been in work relationships with in the past, not even just the boss. They could open up opportunities for you financially and in your career. Jupiter is kind of a headhunter in the ninth house. So again, human resources and headhunting energy can happen here. This is a good month as well for you to get a career coach or advisor or even a therapist to help you out, to be your champion. That's good Jupiter and advisory energy in the ninth house. The new moon is a new beginning and a fresh start, but it bakes in all the things I mentioned before: work, legacy wealth, releasing debts and indebtedness, shocking surprises of chunky money coming, new rental property opportunities, new buy and sell property opportunities, all connected to this moon as well. I didn't mention this, but Venus rules your long-term committed love stories. And so with the shock and awe of Uranus here and ruled by Mercury in the house of the reputation, for some of you, there could be some secrets revealed or disclosures regarding a committed love relationship that will spill into the public, like gossip about you and stuff. That could be the darker side of this in a way, like everyone's talking about what happened in my relationship. There's that. Now, on July the 31st, Mercury will cazimi or go into the heart of the sun from retrogradation. We saw that last year in July, August. We saw it in 2017, 18, July, August. So he's here to, go close to Earth, activate synchronicity, and enter into the heart of the sun in a very profound and magical way. I want you to think about divine downloads. It's at 9 degrees of Gemini, of Leo. If you have any, just trust me, it will be 9 degrees of Leo on the 31st of the month. If you have any kind of application, interview, communication, negotiation in progress regarding career matters, major insights, breakthroughs, and information may emerge for you around the 31st of July regarding those matters. However, news in the top of the sky means publicly declared information or news, and it's kind of flying through the barriers into the known realm of publicity. So it's a good publicity stunt in a way, it's a good moment in time. You can harness this to promote something, to launch an article, to, do something that's launching something that you wish to communicate into the eye of the public, into the sphere of the public. So you can harness this energy. It's auspicious on July the 31st. It's good energy for launching something into the public. However, again, communications connected to people from your past, connected to your work, flying over the transom into your life on July 31st, right? It's exciting. This is kind of not connecting very directly to anything, but a little touch point with the Vestal flame. The Vestal flame of sacred devotion in what you want to commit yourself to in life with a dedication and a sort of diligence, and some information news can come through in that regard. A lot of you might find this kind of energy, Mercury. Let me think about this for a minute. Because when this is occurring, the moon is just sliding into Scorpio, into your sign. And that moon generically means things to do with one's home. And because it's a intersection on the top of the sky opposite Pluto in the fourth house, generally trining Saturn in the house of rentals, and sort of connecting to Uranus as well. Surprising information or news connected to home and things to do with your home and where you live, but with a flow from Jupiter, it feels positive. Announcements as well. And that's what I got for you. So don't forget to like and subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss a thing. I would love to have you as a regular on my channel and get to know you. I do read all my comments, believe it or not. I don't have an assistant doing that. I try to answer as many, or I respond with a heart, or I get back to you. Did you know that I'm unplugged over on Pluto Chronicles on Substack, where I talk about what I really think about what's going on in the world based on the astrology and my bias? Did you know also that I also have a Patreon community where they get these videos, everything I produce on YouTube before you guys, early access, never ads, ad free. And if you want that kind of content, you can come over for mere $5 a month and join me on Patreon. Each tier has different levels of meetings, but we have up to 4 right now a month. And so it depends on your tier. At the $5 level, you get the monthly Q&A with me. These small intimate groups in my Zoom community are lovely. They're never more than 20 to 30 people maximum in a room. We get to talk, we get to engage, I get to teach as well. So check it out. You'll find more about that over on my Patreon community. Everything about me is in the description box below. So find all the information you need down there. Unfortunately, it's very hard to get a reading with me these days. I'm booked out and I'm really busy writing a couple of books. So I'm not seeing as many clients, but you never know. My Patreon community gets first access to readings before the public, which means the public never gets access at all. It fills up really quickly. All right, guys, thank you very much. Don't forget to like, subscribe. I'll see you around. Ciao, ciao.